Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and greetings everyone to Verify Halal TV. I am Ilyani Yusuf and I will be your host for today. Alhamdulillah, on behalf of Verify Halal TV, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our guest today, Mdm Nadia El-Mouelhy, Director at the Halal Certification Authority Australia. We are grateful that you are here with us today.
Wa alaikum salam, and welcome to everyone that has come to join us.
Thank you, Madam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Alhamdulillah. Yes, as you stated, I'm the Director of Halal Certification Authority, and I'm the first female-led halal certifier in the halal certification industry, not belonging to an accreditor. I have studies in Islamic science, technical sciences, including human resource management. So leading a halal certification body with these qualifications has been great. Yeah, absolutely. My father was in the food industry my whole entire life and then was a halal certifier. And I entered into the market when I was 18 years old while studying at university. So I entered into his company and took over after he retired. Yeah, absolutely. It's a growing market in Australia. We're really lucky to be a Muslim here in Australia. We get access to pretty much all the export products that are going overseas. It gets flooded into the domestic market. So it's really great for such a minority, for the minority of Muslims in here in Australia. As a halal certification industry here in Australia, it's growing at about, and continued to grow for the last 30 years, about 10 to 15% per year. So our government's extremely supportive of halal and trade. So we're very lucky to be here. Actually, it started off, my father wrote a supermarket guide, which would be the equivalent to Verify Halal today in modern times. And at this time, processed food products outside of meat were scarce in Australia. So Halal Certification Authority was the first to be niched in this area in Australia, whereby the certifiers back then were present in those days were actually focused on meat. So that's probably our little history, and we're still one of the leadings. We're actually the biggest in processed goods, so non-meat market. Yes, so as stated before, that we actually had a halal guide, and this was a supermarket guide for the tourists that would come into Australia, and predominantly to feed the Muslims here in Australia. And so we started a halal certification body in 1993, and it was called Halal Certification Services, and we changed its name to Halal Certification Authority in 1994. So, like I said before, it was a leading halal certification body specifically in non-meat products, so in processed goods like chocolates and sauces and bakery products. So this was, just right at the pinnacle of globalization of halal back in 1992, especially here in Australia. So we saw huge changes through there. So first it went from meat certification to processed food certification. In 1994, you could see the cleaning products certification come on board. And then this progressed into supplements. And again, we've got a boom here right now with supplements. So the industry for us here in Australia for consumer, a lot of the consumers are so lucky because, as I said before, that the Australians, because we're a self-sufficient country, and we're exporting, and we're known as an exporting country, it allows huge export for halal to go out, and they're not going to separate between export production and domestic production. So what gets exported, the same products are being flooded into the domestic market. So the Muslims here, we've got like 70 to 80% of the supermarkets being halal. It's great for Muslims and tourists to come in. As for the meat market, I'd say about 90% of our abattoirs are certified and halal slaughtering. So we're an extremely lucky country. In fact, as Australia, we're the most certified product country in the world. So we're probably one of the most highly outside of being a non-Muslim country. Absolutely. We have about 95% non-Muslim producers, if not higher. The Australian industry thrives on halal export. It's extremely profitable for them. So it's definitely, they definitely know it's profitable for them, yes. In New South Wales, Australia, and then followed by Victoria, which are the two leading states for the Muslims in Australia. So on the east coast of Australia. Look, I always say processed goods all the way, but you know, some high potential sectors are actually pharmaceuticals, supplements, nutraceuticals. They're booming sectors at the present time, along with the vegan industry. So that's what's going on here in Australia at this present time. I'm seeing significant numbers growing almost at 30%. So I love to see those waves. So alongside that personal care, alongside that, you know, the supplement industry, you definitely have that the vegan industry. That's been booming, I think, for about 2 to 3 years. It's not to say that it hasn't been there present, but it's just when you see this influx of companies wanting to be certified for the vegan industry, quite an interesting, you can see people's dietary concerns are changing. People have more choices, and they're wanting to be, companies are wanting to market themselves as organic, kosher, halal. So it's just a marketing tool to get into most of the world's markets, and halal being one of the biggest. So just like Malaysia is one of the requirements that every ingredient needs to be halal certified. And as you're saying, a consumer will sit there and go, why is this product being certified? It does need to meet importing country requirements, but it's not just about the ingredients, it's about how that product's processed. So say that goes on to equipment, what are those ingredients? Like for instance, the greases and the oils used on those equipments need to make sure that they're halal certified. Sorry, not halal certified, but at least halal suitable, as well in the cleaning materials. What are they made of? What is the packaging made of? How are they storing their goods? How are they being transported? We need to make sure that this product is halal and it's halal certified, trademarked with that certification body's logo or you know, certification. Like it's their brand to make sure that this is certified to these requirements. It's definitely, for halal certifiers, we were not affected as much as what the actual industry was. Companies still need to certify and they still need to export. So if anything, we still grew in this time because clients were sitting there going, how can I actually, you know, if I can't make money in the retail area, how can I make, or the food service area, how can I make money overseas? So we saw these changes. I would say because the retail industry is moving to export, that some of them went bankrupt. Honestly, I've never seen an industry with so many acquisitions at this time where companies were buying out other companies, lots of staff turnovers. So we've just had to be, as a halal industry, we've been quite supportive to the industry and understanding in that situation, but it has definitely affected manufacture. Also, I know at the beginning when COVID just started, meat shipments, I mean, ports were getting blocked. There was too much overflow in the freezers. So it was just you know, it did cause massive problems here for manufacturers, most definitely. And there are some that haven't been harmed and have grown. So it's just a change of where they were exporting to made a difference as well. We were a little bit late to the I'd say you know, getting vaccinations. I believe Australia is pretty much at 90% or very close to 80 to 90% vaccinated now. I believe we're letting our first international students can come back to Australia in the 1st of December. So that change, I have seen a massive change, like manufacturing just seems to be kind of going back to almost where it was. I can't speak for the manufacturers themselves, but I'm seeing a huge influx right now. I can't even breathe the amount of clients wanting to come on board because we are seeing Australia opening up. So it's just changed people going, oh, okay, we might want to enter this market. So it's been a very interesting 2 years. Yeah, well, look, you have Verify Halal is definitely a place to check such items as they operate worldwide. There's also Halal Helpline in Australia. The rest are not privy to information continually by producers like Verify Halal. So I would say, they have to stick to, like, Verify Halal is quite known at a worldwide status. And if you specifically, which we can look after Australian products with Verify Halal, and there's also Halal Helpline in Australia that, with those two companies, you've got those basic, them looking after like halal certified goods and making sure that they are halal certified. Whereas all these other sites are not privy to that information really, or the continual update of that information. So Australia is a huge exporting country. It's self-sufficient, has a wealth of products to the country. And with regards to what those exports, we are one of the leading in beef, lamb, like the sheep, and we also are the fourth in food and beverage. So we're really leading in that industry, and we owe that to also our Australian federal government. Actually, is quite as I said, very supportive of halal and trade. I would love it to continue to grow, to look after the business worldwide. It's been exponentially growing the 10 to 15%, as we said. It would be great to see that continue. My advice in halal expos and trade shows are it's important. It allows a seller and a buyer to get person to person, and there's nothing better than face-to-face marketing and selling, so they can see your products in the flesh and in some instances taste it. So I know a lot of our clients, if they want to build up in a country, I always say go to their local trade show. So just like Malaysia and just like the Gulf, I don't think we've got a food expo. We do have a halal expo, but it's nothing like anything overseas. It's not even in comparison. So I just don't think we've got maybe it's developed in that way, but we do have a lot of food expos. So a lot of our regional trade shows here, but nothing like what we see in other countries with regards to halal. I would say being a female, there are a lot of memorable experiences, like gaining licenses from countries, like being the first female in the world to receive a Saudi license, the second to receive it in Malaysia. I would say the highlight in all the halal certification bodies is attending the World Halal Forum in Malaysia every year, as you get an opportunity to see all the certifiers. We do this job, and we've got our competitors inside of our own country, but when we meet them all around the world, and especially in Malaysia, it is definitely everyone comes. So it's probably one of the highlights of my year. I'm just devastated over COVID. I haven't been able to get to Malaysia, and I'm hoping next year we can. Yes, the Muslim population services a quarter of the world's population, and one would be foolish not to try and get a foothold in that halal export market. Thank you so much for having me today. It's been an absolute honour to be present with everyone today, and we hope that we've been able to share some information from Australia.
Thank you for sharing your story with us today, Madam Nadia, and for being here with us today. It is truly inspiring, and we are always so pleased to receive stories and hear about the person behind the halal industry, particularly the one in charge of certification bodies. And today it is more special to have a lady in the house. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. We hope everyone has a good time and learned something new. Please be cautious and stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.